Hello folks, this video is about 5 things you might not be aware of about American culture or Americans or the US in general. My audience for this video is really people outside of the United States or people that are that's pretty much my audience. I mean, anybody that hasn't really been to the US or hasn't really lived here, or doesn't know much about it other than hearing something in the news, or just knowing just some basic information. So the number one thing is that mass media is extremely important and popular here in this country, and I feel it's probably more followed and has a bigger impact than media in other countries, at least the countries that I know of. Or I am from Bulgaria, where I'm from. So I feel mass media has a good impact in certain ways, but in others it kind of creates hysteria. It creates it polarizes people, and it's seeking kind of what do you call it, like some kind of a sensation. A lot of it is sensation, breaking news. They're trying to create like every single thing they broadcast is like extremely important. It's very urgent. People should be watching all the time. If they don't do that, nobody's going to be watching them. Nobody's going to care. So I feel that's part of their business model. They must make everything so important and so relevant to people that everybody's glued to the screen to watch them. Again, there are pluses to mass media. There's investigative media, there's all kinds of positives about it, but I feel in this country people rely too much on media and mass media to kind of make decisions in their life, or be influenced by it, or to get polarized if people have opposing views. Number 2, money. I personally care about money. I value money. Money is extremely important, but in this country this is taken to the extreme. I'm actually a capitalist. I believe in capitalism. I believe that without money you cannot achieve a lot of the things that we have in the world today. I believe in development, and I believe in democracy, and capitalism and free markets and things like this. But in this country it seems like there's an obsession with money, obsession with property prices increasing and maintaining property values, and everything's about money. To me, it's just one of the things that's to the extreme in this country. Number 3, fast food. Everybody in the world knows about McDonald's. It's an American chain, and there's so many others, but what they don't realize is that fast food it's American culture. It's really the American way. A lot of people, there's a lot of fast food places, a lot of fast food restaurants, and a lot of chains, and my specific target for this point is actually chains. Those kind of restaurants that are everything's very standardized. I've actually, a long time ago, I actually worked in McDonald's, so I've made all the food in McDonald's you ever ate. And of course you have to standardize things, and of course you have to prepare things in a certain way, and there has to be a system if you're operating a chain fast food restaurant. But the main reason why I say this about this is that actually if you've been following the news or have been kind of just from general knowledge and information, you've seen that pretty much all the fast food chain type restaurants have in one point or another been either determined to be extremely unhealthy or have been determined to be, you know, the main point is being unhealthy, being kind of selling junk food, you know, that's tied to obesity in this country, you know. So I feel a lot of Americans are obsessed about fast food. You know, a lot of people go to these restaurants. There's a lot of them all over the place, all over this country. You know, it's like an epidemic. You know, it's not good. People need to eat healthy food. Of course, that has to do with people having to work and maybe not having the time to cook at home. That's a big one. You know, time is very precious here. But still, I mean, even if you cannot cook a full meal, if you don't have the time, at least, you know, you can cook something a little bit. You don't have to eat that much, you know. I feel the fast food culture and those types of chains are contributing a lot to the obesity and a lot of side effects in health to people in this country, you know. Let me think, what else? Number 4, I mean, these are generalizations, you know. Of course there are different things. Of course here there are people that like the opposing thing. For example, not all people go to fast food restaurants, right? And there's always people that like different things than the norm, than the average. But in general, I'm talking about in general, most people, that's my impression, you know. Another thing is, in general, Americans are not just very regional, you know. A lot of people might know that Americans might not be aware about things like outside of the United States, you know. They might not have traveled overseas or might not care, but that's okay. I mean, this is a big country, you know. You don't have to go outside of the United States if you don't want to or you're not interested. This is a huge place. You can go to any other state or go to the other coast or whatever. There's a lot of room here. But what's interesting is also that a lot of Americans also have not traveled. It's a lot of things are very regional here, a lot of local things, you know. For example, this was years ago. I lived in South New Jersey at the time, and there was a person there, a friend of mine, an American, that has never been to New York City. This was from South New Jersey to New York City. It's about at that time it was like a 2-hour bus drive, or a bus ride, I should say. And a friend of mine, me and another friend of mine were having plans to go to New York City for the weekend, and that guy was telling us, hey, I've never been, you know what, I've never been to New York City, you know, I've been born here, I've never been to New York City. And we looked at each other and we looked at him and said, you know what, man, this weekend you're going to New York City. It's just 2 freaking hours away, you know. It's not that far. You know, that kind of is amazing to me. I mean, you know, that's one of the things that people might be regional here, very local, you know. Let me see what else. I think that's about it for now. I can't think of anything else. I wanted to have a 5th point. That's it, guys. That's all I had. If I think of other things, I'll let you know. But please don't take this, you know, as a kind of accusation or like you know, something bad. It's just I just want to share with people, and maybe it depends on your background, you know, and your opinion, but in general, I think these things are true. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for other videos, just let me know, and I'll create them for you. Okay? Alright, take care, bye.